All right, good day. This is Junose of PWFS TV, the YouTube channel of Philippine Welders and Fitters Society Incorporated. So today we will be discussing about submerged arc welding, or what they call SAW. Okay, so this is part one of these submerged arc welding subjects or topics. All right, so let's take a look on the definition of submerged arc welding. From the definition of American Welding Society, SAW is an arc welding processes using an arc or arcs, okay, so not only one, between a bare metal electrode or solid or, or electrodes composed of many electrodes and the weld pool. The arc and molten metal are shielded by a blanket of granular flux, okay, on the workpieces. So that is the definition from the American Welding Society. Right, so this is the principle of the submerged arc welding process. All right, so you have here your this is your contact tube, right? And this is your solid wire, consumable electrode, and this is the flux, okay, flux hopper, right? This is the direction of the travel, and this is the flux recovery, where it recovers the spent flux, right? So this is the solidified weld metal, this is the molten metal, and this is the arc pad. Right, so this is the base metal. So as you can see here, so the flux is ahead of the consumable electrode. That is why they called it submerged arc welding, because the arc itself is submerged on the of the flux itself. Okay, that's why the arc cannot be seen from outside, because it is covered by the flux. So that is the process of submerged arc welding. All right, so we have flux hopper, consumable electrode, and the flux recovery. So what is SAW? SAW is submerged arc welding. Its best results is constant voltage, or CV, power source, CB's power source with SAW mode. Of course, you put it in SAW, submerged arc welding mode. Okay? Wire electrode with external shielding flux. Right? It can be used for DCEP, or it can be used also in DCEN. Right? Or this supposed to be DCEN, okay? Not DECN. Or you can also use in alternating current, or AC. Later on, we will be discussing about these polarities. Right. So what are these polarities? DCEP, or reverse polarity. Direct current electrode. This is not negative, positive. Right? Wrong. Wrong spelling. So direct current electrode positive. This is supposed to be positive. Right? That's why we call it DCEP. The electrode is connected to the positive. So if this is your electrode, although I use the small process, so it's just the same. So if your electrode is connected to the positive pole, that is DCEP, and your negative is connected to the workpiece. That's why we call it DCEP, right? Because the one that holds the electrode is connected to the positive pole. Wire nozzle connected to DC plus. So this is the wire nozzle, and then used in most application. High penetration, very high penetration, heat concentrated at workpiece, improved porosity resistance. So that is the DCEP, or direct current electrode positive, or we call it reverse polarity. Another is DCEN, or straight polarity, direct current electrode negative. Okay, the electrode is connected to the negative pole. So in this case, this electrode is connected to the negative pole, and the workpiece is connected to the positive. That's why we call it direct current electrode negative. The electrode is connected to negative pole and the workpiece is the positive pole. Wire nozzle connected to the DC negative. As you see in the figure, used in fewer application, lower penetration. As you can see here, it has a low penetration, used for surfacing application and fillet weld. Now we can also use AC polarity or AC, actually AC only. Okay, AC is an alternating current. Okay, so it reduces arc flow concerns, balance properties of this DC plus and DC negative. So if you can see here, there's a bit deep penetration and it's wide. So it balances the properties of the DC negative, which is high penetrating, and the DC positive, which is wide. Okay, that's why you have a good penetration still, and with a wide weld. Right. How about the deposition rate? The deposition rate of submerged arc welding. Okay, if you if you can see on this figure, okay, on the DC plus, okay, or the two-third of the weld is penetrated and 1/3 of the weld is on top. Okay, while on AC is half-half, 50-50. While on the DC negative, okay, or DCEN, right, it's the other way of the DC positive. The penetration is less, shallow but wide, and the top portion, which is the capping, is 2/3, which is thicker. Okay, so if you can see here, DC positive is better. Okay, although AC also can be okay, but using DC negative is not so good unless you use it for fillet weld. Right? So there are advantages of submerged arc welding. First, high deposition rate, very high. Okay, typically deep penetration, 6 mm, I think it can penetrate. High operating factor. Okay, it's very high. Low hydrogen weld. Okay, so it's low hydrogen. You will not be you will not have any problem with hydrogen cracking. Another advantages are fast welding speed, very fast production, high operator appeal, and high quality welds. Although we also have disadvantages. The disadvantages of submerged arc welding are portability, it's not portable, and then we have external shielding flux required, so it's not really a portable one. Right? So downhand welding only. External shielding flux is susceptible to gravity. Although the position it can be only on 1 GR, right? Or in pipe, some they are using it on horizontal position, right? Moderate operator skill is necessary, and tight fit up weld. Okay, because if you don't have a tight fit up, you will have a burn through. It will burn through. Okay, abrasive nature of flux on machinery, housekeeping and storage of flux, and there's a lot of slags. So those are the disadvantages of submerged arc welding. So this is the part 1 of submerged arc welding topic that we'll be discussing. On the next video, we will be discussing on the part 2, okay, on the equipment and so on. All right, so I hope you have learned something on this video, and thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel. Right, like and share to your friend. Thank you very much. Once again, this is Junose of PWFS TV, the YouTube channel of Philippine Welders and Fitters Society Incorporated. Thank you very much. God bless.